Well, weather can be a factor in this next story, although it's not the leading factor in it today. We've been reporting to you oil and gas prices have surged in the past several weeks, with gas prices jumping to more than $4 a gallon in some places in this country. But it's not just oil and gas that we're taking a look at. Commodity prices overall are surging in the last 12 months. Coffee, for example, your morning cup of coffee, up 120% in the past 12 months, coffee prices. That, of course, means the prices are going to go up at your local Starbucks. Maybe. Not all companies take that into account, but you can see the price there on your screen. Also, take a look at corn, up 90% year over year. Corn is used in so much. Of course, you have corn in the cob, you got your popcorn, but corn syrup is used to sweeten soda. It's used in so many different food groups, and it's also used in feeding cattle as well. So that adds into our meat prices. Then there's cotton. It's up a whopping 150%, a little bit more than that. That means clothing prices could go up. Our next guest says all of these prices on everything, everything is going up, including the price, Phil Flynn, on our toilet paper. Paper prices are going up.
They've been going through the roof, Jenna. I'm telling you. And in fact, it's really shocking to know. I don't know if you've noticed, your toilet paper is actually getting thinner. You know, you still get the same number of sheets, but they've cut down the size of it. This is a little tricky way that these sellers of goods, of course, try to sell you things without raising prices or not raising them as much, and they hope you don't notice. But I'll tell you, Jenna, I, for one, noticed.
Well, we noticed, too, when we read that. We thought, toilet paper, that's not something we probably thought of when we're thinking about commodity prices. When we take a look at those year-over-year prices, though, Phil, when do we actually see that hit the consumer? Is that happening right now today, or are we going to see even higher prices in the months ahead?
I think both. I think you're seeing it now. I think you're going to see it in the future. I mean, you can go down the board, whether you're talking about Starbucks coffee prices, Folgers prices going up. The price of chocolate has been going through the roof. And you know, another thing that really irritates me is that when you go to the grocery store, you buy that big bag of candy, you think you're going to get so many Snickers, you look inside, hey, where did they all go? You know? So you're getting less in that same size bag. And that's going to be true across a lot of the producers of goods. They're going to be trying to give you the perception they're giving you the same amount, but they're actually going to be giving you less. And what really bothers me, Jenna, I think we're going over the line here. I'm worried about beer prices. Beer prices have been surging. You know, malts and hops and
you
stuff.
You and John Scott. You got his attention. He suddenly sat up.
That's right.
I know. There you go. Then you got to get that beer there. Oil and gasoline prices are all going to cost more.
In all seriousness, though, Phil, these prices do affect us when we're trying to look at our family budget. And so our viewers really want to know, why is this happening, and is there anything we can do about it?
Well, there's a combination of factors here. You know, early on, the Federal Reserve printed more money to try to stimulate the economy and stimulate inflation, and boy, did they get it. I mean, right now, part of what you're seeing is part of what the Federal Reserve wanted to do. They wanted to create an economic boom. But at the same time, by inspiring our economy to grow, in China, they're consuming goods like crazy. The growth of their economy is at a very rapid pace, and they are sucking up the supply. So there's really inflation in its purest form. What you're seeing, of course, is all these new dollars floated in the global economy, more dollars chasing less goods. It's just driving up the price. You add into it the uncertainty in the Middle East. You add to it, the uncertainty of the business, and these prices are just off to the races.
Just real quick, Phil, when we talk about higher inflation, that means our dollar really gets us less in the marketplace. What is your number one concern for the American family in the next 6 months as far as these high prices?
I'm concerned about the Middle East and oil prices. You know, this thing, the trend that's happening in the Middle East is very disturbing. It could be the greatest risk we have to the economy today. If these oil prices go to 120, 150, or even higher, it could really put us back into a double-dip recession. So that's my biggest concern. And if that happens, it's going to be very rough for a lot of people.
Phil Flynn, he's a market analyst with PFG Best Research. He's also a Fox Business contributor. You have us a lot to think about, from our coffee to the corn to toilet paper to gas prices. We'll keep an eye on it all, Phil. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jenna. Don't focus on the toilet paper.
He said he was concerned about it.
Smaller
Smaller
sheets.
all?
A lot of stuff to be concerned about in that report.